non-Muslim businesses cannot be forced to obtain halal certs. Government to wait for official letter on rejection on draft allocations. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm Otto Othman and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Now, the government has never decided to require all restaurants across the country or any food and beverage F&B industry to apply for halal certification. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi stated that no decision has been made on mandating halal certification and the Cabinet will discuss the proposal on Wednesday.
Soal haram itu adalah sesuatu yang telah begitu lama. Sijil halal juga diminta oleh pengusaha-pengusaha bukan Islam, pengendali restoran bukan Islam, dan tidak ada satu keputusan pun untuk mewajibkan semua restoran di seluruh negara atau mana-mana industri yang mengeluarkan F&B, food and beverages, untuk memohon 100% sijil halal. Tidak ada keputusan kabinet. Itulah sebabnya Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri mengarahkan pada Menteri di Jabatan Perdana Menteri Al-Ehwal Islam untuk memberi tahu kedudukan sebenarnya pada hari Rabu ini.
He said this at the MIC Annual General Assembly today. Therefore, the Deputy Premier, who is also the chairman of the Malaysian Halal Council, urged his fellow members in the unity government not to misinterpret the issue. Last week, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office for Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said the Islamic Development Department, JAKIM, was considering a proposal for halal certification to be made mandatory for eateries that do not serve pork and alcohol, adding that it was currently being done voluntarily. The government will await an official letter from the opposition regarding its reported rejection of the Memorandum of Understanding or MOU on opposition allocation proposed by the government. Now, the Deputy Premier or Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadillah Yusof, when met today, said that he only learned about the rejection through media reports.
Dan saya menunggulah secara hitam putih daripada mereka secara keseluruhan.
Commenting further, the Deputy Premier further noted that what was presented was just a draft MOU, and he hopes the opposition will provide counter-proposals on the points they disagree with in the draft. He added that the further discussions will take place if they want to continue negotiations or if this is a final decision from the opposition that they no longer wish to negotiate. The media reported today that the opposition unanimously rejected the MOU for various reasons. The resolution of 11 claims under the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63, with 7 finalised during Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's administration, highlights the government's commitment to the agreement's agenda. Local analyst Dr. Shahruddin Awang Ahmad notes that the Premier has demonstrated consistent dedication to fulfilling claims from the Sabah and Sarawak governments, ensuring their long-fought rights are realised. As a senior lecturer at University Malaysia Sabah's Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, he emphasised that resolving MA63 claims is complex due to financial issues, legal governance and constitutional challenges. In nearly 2 years of Datuk Seri Anwar's administration, 7 claims have been addressed, including designating the Public Works Department, or JKR, of Sabah and Sarawak as the technical department, transferring Gas Supply Regulatory Authority and amending the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia Act 1995, Act 533, to include representatives from Sabah and Sarawak as permanent members of the LHDN. He also highlighted that Datuk Seri Anwar's method is not merely delegating power based on trust, but also reaffirms his commitment as the head of the federal administration to maintaining the significance of Sabah and Sarawak within Malaysia. Minister of Communications Fahmi Fadil has urged the residents of Kampung Mondikot to fully utilize the high-speed internet provided for free to boost the local economy, including promoting the village as an attractive tourist destination. He noted that the picturesque and serene environment of Kampung Mondikot along the newly built road infrastructure has the potential to attract tourists from both domestic and international markets. To introduce the village to the wider public, Fahmi suggested that relevant parties collaborate with Sabah's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Environment, Datuk Christina Liu, as well as the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC.
Mungkin salah satu cadangan saya kepada Datuk Arifin, Datuk Joel ialah mungkin kita boleh cari dan bekerjasama dengan Yang Berhormat Datuk Christina Liu, Menteri Pelancongan Sabah, untuk mendapatkan beberapa orang influencer datang. Mungkin dia boleh berkolaborasi.
On the Starlink satellite unit in the village, Fahmi said that the internet link was installed by MCMC and Red Tone in June, with coverage extending around 150 meters from the installation site, whereby the service is available to the villagers at all times. He said this after visiting the Proof of Concept or POC Starlink project in Kampung Mondikot today. A total of 4,629 existing transmitter stations in Sabah were upgraded through the National Digital Interconnection Plan or Jendela to ensure that the level of connectivity and internet services are at the best level for the well-being of the people. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC said that 303,569 premises will be equipped with fibre optic connections through Jendela. In a statement, MCMC mentioned broadband services via satellite broadband wireless access or BWA are also implemented in 138 locations in the state. The proof of concept or POC of Starlink's broadband services in rural and remote areas was also carried out with devices installed in Papar, Kiningau, Tawau, Kudat, Ranau, Tuaran and Nabawan. The installation of this Starlink POC device is to assess the feasibility of providing broadband services using the satellite as one of the steps to meet the various requirements contained in Jendela. MCMC added 118 National Information Dissemination Centres or NADI have been operating throughout Sabah, while another 14 new NADI will be built. The Ministry of Defence is encouraging members of the Malaysian Armed Forces ATM and young recruits to participate in the Work-Based Learning WBL program to obtain higher education qualifications and pursue careers in other fields after retirement. Elaborating further on the matter, Defence Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said that the WBL program, a collaboration with University Technology Mara and University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, is one of the ministry's initiatives to ensure ATM personnel earn diplomas or degrees similar to practices in Germany and the United States.
Kita start dengan diploma dulu sebab ramai SPM masuk. Kita tidak nafikan macam hari ini pun ada juga yang ambil diploma. Nanti kita akan kaji mana satu yang based on WBL boleh dapat ijazah. Sebab pengalaman saya sebagai Menteri Pendidikan Tinggi dulu memang boleh dilaksanakan, hanya kita belum mula di negara kita.
Met today, the minister further emphasized that this initiative reflects the government's concern for all members of the ATM, urging young recruits to make the most of his opportunity by diversifying their skills. Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid elaborated that personnel can choose from 6 different diploma courses covering culinary arts, hotel management, Islamic education, office management and technology, science and recreation, and geomatics science. Police will investigate. A statement made by Global Ikhwan Service and Business Holdings GISBH Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Datuk Nasiruddin Muhammad Ali in a recent viral video. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said the current focus is on investigating allegations of child exploitation involving charity homes believed to be owned by the company. In a video, Datuk Nasiruddin said there have indeed been one or two cases of sodomy involving children at the welfare homes. Last Wednesday, Bukit Aman's Criminal Investigation Department raided charity homes in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan, rescuing 402 individuals comprising 201 males and 201 females aged between 1 and 17 years. When contacted today, Tan Sri Razaruddin said police are actively tracing the whereabouts of the parents of the rescued children to record their statements. He said as of yesterday, police had recorded statements from 483 individuals, comprising complainants, witnesses, victims and suspects. A total of 384 children have undergone health screenings as of yesterday, and the findings show that there were elements of neglect and abuse. He said police are investigating if other children had been sodomized apart from the 13 suspected victims detected earlier. Coming up next, Floriculture industry contributes 2.68 billion ringgit to the country's exports. A total of 10 families received the keys to affordable houses under the Prima Corporation Malaysia, or Prima. Minister of Housing and Local Government KPKT Ngah Koming said the agency under the management of KPKT will continue to implement the government's mandate in realizing the country's housing aspirations through the slogan Rumah Kita, Komuniti Kita. He said so far 1,200 units of Prima houses have been successfully sold to buyers and will continue to ensure that the supply of affordable houses is not only high quality but comfortable for Malaysians.
Kita lihat model dan juga transformasi Prima kini mula membuahkan hasil. Di mana Prima bukan saja menjaya menawarkan rumah-rumah mampu milik yang berdaya huni dan berkualiti tinggi. Malahan, pada 2 tahun ini telah berjaya memenangi lebih 10 anugerah sebagai antara pemaju rumah mampu milik yang terbaik dalam negara kita.
He added 24 SIC projects inherited by the previous government will also be completed by this year to ensure home buyers will get their homes in good condition. Ngah said this at the key handover ceremony for Nexus Residency home buyers in Kajang. On another note, regarding the construction of the program Residency Rakyat, or PRR houses that will start next year, Ngah is inviting private developers to contribute land for mixed development. He explained that PRR was rebranded from the program Perumahan Rakyat, or PPR, which aims for more integrated and quality affordable housing for the people.
Atas usaha KPKT, kami telah pun menerima 32 keping tanah percuma dari kerajaan-kerajaan negeri untuk kita membina PRR. Hari ini saya ingin nak juga umumkan supaya saya juga menggalakkan pemaju-pemaju swasta yang sudi derma ataupun serah tanah kepada kerajaan KPKT untuk buat big development, mereka juga akan diberi peluang dan keutamaan untuk membina PRR.
A total of 2.68 billion ringgit was contributed by the floriculture industry to the country's exports from 2018 to 2023. Director General of Agriculture, Datuk Nur Sam Alwi, said the floriculture industry has potential to generate the country's trade balance.
Komoditi floriculture di Malaysia adalah berfokuskan kepada ekspor, di mana negara-negara utama kita mengekspor floriculture adalah seperti Jepun, juga di Timur Tengah lah.
She also informed that Malaysia is the world's 10th largest exporter of Floriculture, as well as the main leader among ASEAN countries. The Department of Agriculture will also undertake the initiative to help local floriculture entrepreneurs penetrate the industry's export market. She said this at the inauguration of the Laman Agro-Food Floriculture Miracle Garden at Maib's Serdang today. The Malaysian Palm Oil Board, or MPOB, is intensifying its research and development, or R&D, efforts to produce superior oil palm variants which could boost the nation's oil palm productivity and output without expanding the plantation area. Now, this effort aligns with Malaysia's commitment to biodiversity and tropical rainforest conservation following its pledge during the 1992 Rio Earth Summit to maintain 50% of its land under forest and tree cover. In a statement today, the MPOB said Plantation and Commodities Minister Dato' Sri Johari Abdul Ghani had visited the MPOB research station in Kluang, where he had the opportunity to observe the Nigerian-based germplasm research plots, a commercial pollinization research center, and the PS 1.1 Vinasense variant planting plots. During his tour of the facility yesterday, Johari also planted a Clonal Palm Series 3 or CPS3 seedling, a high-performance oil palm variant which was introduced by the MPOB in 2020. This elite oil palm variant boasts an 89.7% mesocarp-to-fruit ratio, resulting in significantly higher oil yields compared to conventional palm breeds. Tourism Association in Pulau Pinang expressed hope that the government will increase the allocation for the sector in Budget 2025 to boost their promotion of the state internationally and attract more foreign tourists. Malaysian Hotel Association MAH Pulau Pinang Chapter Chairman Dato' Tony Goh said that promotional campaigns should not be limited to a few countries but should be expanded globally. He also expressed hope that tourism tax revenues could be split equally between the federal and state governments. This would enable state governments to invest in improving their local tourism sectors. Dato' Goh emphasized that the increased tourism tax revenues should enable the state government to run more extensive promotional campaigns and attract international tourists. Pulau Pinang Tourist Guides Association President Clement Liang, meanwhile, also called for enhanced infrastructure in tourist areas through Budget 2025. He noted that many of the state's attractions lack adequate parking for sightseeing buses, making it challenging for travel agencies to bring tourists to see these sites. Pulau Pinang's economy has shown significant growth in 2023 and 2024, driven by a rebound in the tourism sector, which recorded nearly 7 million passenger movements in 2023, a 64.5% increase compared with the previous year. Express Rail Link Sdn Bhd, or ERL, is optimistic that the number of passengers for the service will be able to return to pre-pandemic levels by the end of this year. Chief Executive Officer of ERL, Normah Muhammad Noor, said the target can be achieved through strategic collaboration with various partners, including rail air operators abroad. She said in the past 2 months, ERL has partnered with AREX Airport Railroad Co. Limited from South Korea, Airport Express Hong Kong, and most recently with KTMB.
This is good in giving exposure to ERL in terms of increasing the exposure dan juga ridership untuk KLIA Express. In fact, sejak tahun lalu, the number of KLIA Express to ridership increase higher than even the growth of airport lah.
Met recently in the national's capital, she said in the previous year, the total number of passengers utilizing KLIA Express and KLIA Transit reached 6.58 million, accounting for 74% of the passenger volume recorded in 2019. Meanwhile, ERL is in discussions to create a consortium of airport rail operators through the International Air Rail Organization. She added the combination will further boost integration between operators at a global level, thus benefiting ERL's services. Still ahead, storm, flooding death toll in Myanmar jumps to 74. The death toll in Myanmar in the wake of Typhoon Yagi has jumped to 74. State media reported on Sunday, a day after its junta made a rare request for foreign aid. Floods and landslides have killed almost 350 people in Myanmar, Vietnam, Laos and Thailand in the wake of Typhoon Yagi, which hit the region last weekend, according to official figures. The junta's previous death toll was 33, with more than 235,000 people displaced, according to figures released on Friday. Swaths of farmland have been inundated in central regions, including around the sprawling, low-lying capital Naypyidaw. There have been reports of landslides in hilly areas, but with roads and bridges damaged and phone and internet lines down, compiling information has been difficult. The Sitong and Bago rivers, which flow through central and southern Myanmar, were both still above dangerous levels on Sunday, state media said, although water levels were expected to fall in the coming days. Authorities in Myanmar have opened 82 relief camps to house displaced people, according to state media. The floods have heaped more misery on Myanmar, where more than 2.7 million people have already displaced by conflict. Chinese authorities prepared for heavy rain on Sunday as a strong typhoon approached the country's heavily populated eastern seaboard. Typhoon Bebinka was expected to make landfall along a swath of coastline, including the mega city of Shanghai, between Sunday night and Monday morning, according to Beijing's Emergency Management Ministry. Bebinka's expected landfall will come during the Mid-Autumn Festival, a public holiday in China. The country's railway operator is expecting passengers to take 74 million trips during the holiday. The Weather Office issued orange typhoon warnings, the second highest in a 4-tier system, for several districts in Shanghai and areas of nearby provinces on Sunday. It advised the people refrain from gathering in large numbers, boats return to port, and rickety structures be strengthened against high winds. The Emergency Management Ministry said officials must pay close attention to the development of the typhoon, adding that mobility will be high and safety risk will be prominent. The Water Resources Ministry launched on Saturday a Level 4 emergency response, the lowest in a tiered system for flooding in Shanghai and the provinces of Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Anhui, according to Xinhua. Coming up in sports, early Tina clinch Hong Kong Open title. Stay with us. Malaysia's top women's doubles pair Pearly Tan and Tina took just 38 minutes to defeat world number 3 Chinese pair Liu Shengshu Tan Ning to claim the 2024 Hong Kong Open title at the Hong Kong Consolium in Kowloon today. In the Super 500 final, Pearly Tina fought valiantly to secure victory in straight games 21-14, 21-14. This triumph marked the end of the world's 8th-ranked pairs title drought in the Badminton World Federation BWF calendar, with their last victory coming at the 2022 French Open. It also saw them rise from their runner-up finish at the 2023 Hong Kong Open to champions this year. Even more impressive, this is the third time the 2022 Commonwealth Games gold medalists have defeated this Chinese pair in 7 encounters, having last lost to them in the quarterfinals of the 2024 Japan Open last month. Pearly Tina deserve credit for rediscovering their magical touch, as this was their second consecutive final appearance after finishing as runners-up at the 2024 Korea Open, where they were defeated by home pair Jong Na-eun, Kim Hee-jeong. Yesterday, the Malaysian duo battled for over an hour to book their spot in the final, defeating South Korean pair Baek Hana, Lee So-hee. Australian qualifier Olivia Gadecki powered into her first career WTA final on Saturday, beating Camila Osorio 6-2, 6-3 to book a title showdown with Magdalena Freire in Guadalajara. Poland's Freire, seeded 5th, battled back in both sets to beat 4th-seeded Caroline Garcia of France 7-6, 7-5. Sunday's winner in the 500-level hardcourt tournament will claim a first WTA title. Gadecki, 22, had never reached a quarterfinal until this week, and she hadn't won a tour-level match since January. At 152 in the world, Gadecki is the third lowest-ranked player to make a WTA final this year. She is guaranteed to break into the top 100 for the first time when the new rankings are released on Monday. Against Garcia, 5th-seeded Freire moved into her first hardcourt final and first WTA 500 final with a win over 4th-seeded Garcia at the Guadalajara Open. Freire saved set points in the first set and came back from a double breakdown in the second set. The Pole, who entered the week at 43rd in the world, is assured of breaking into the top 40 on Monday. Kedah Darul Aman KDA-FC head coach Mohammad Afuzi Zain hopes that the club's management will promptly resolve internal issues to avoid the team becoming whipping boys in the Super League. Now, speaking at the post-match press conference after his young squad were thrashed 5-0 by Kuala Lumpur City FC last night, he said that if the issues are not addressed quickly, the situation will become more complicated. Despite the heavy defeat, Mohammad Afuzi noted that it was a valuable experience and exposure for the young players who stepped up to represent the Canaries. Previously, the main squad of KDA-FC was reported to have boycotted team training due to unpaid salaries for several months, resulting in Mohammad Afuzi fielding a majority of players aged under 20, many of whom had played in the 2024 Malaysia Games Sukma in Sarawak last month.
Kebanyakannya yang berumur 19 hingga 20 tahun yang menyertai Sukma sebelum ni, dan saya rasa yang lebih umur hanya 5 orang pemain sahajalah. Selepas Sukma pun dia pun cuti rehat, dan malam ni 4 hari 5 hari dia orang baru just report training lah, agak satu masa yang singkat.
In the match, goals by Jovan Motika in the 14th minute, Zafri Yahya 26th minute, and Captain Paulo Josue 49th and 59th, along with an own goal by Hazri Balkif Zulhadi 23rd minute, secured 3 points for the City Boys. Meanwhile, KL City head coach Marislav Kuljanak was grateful to his players for continuing to attend training and play for the club despite reportedly facing salary issues like their opponents. Well, that's it from us this evening. In our top story, non-Muslim businesses cannot be forced to obtain halal certs. Malaysia Madani, Jiwa Merdeka, I'm Otto Othman. Thanks for watching.